This is my love manifesto. Love. 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 I want a love that heals every bruise, every scar, every heartache. Love me. Love me like your life depended on it. Love me like my heart holds the antidote to every ailment in your soul. Love. Love is an action, a verb, a responsibility. The act of placing another's heart inside your hands and guarding it fiercely. Freeing, healing, liberating. It's protection from life's cold. Warms the soul, refreshes the spirit, rejuvenates the mind. Love me. Love me authentically. I want to be loved like every day is our last, every moment our anniversary, every kiss just like the first. A love that doesn't hurt. I want to rise in love, freeing my soul, allowing my vulnerability to show without fear of rejection and judgment. Love me. Give your heart to me. This is my love manifesto. This is my love manifesto. This is my love manifesto. I want true love. More than sex, I want intimate connection. A permanent soul tie, mine to yours. Exchanging energy, never depleting. My heart full, soul and spirit satisfied. I want to wrap my arms around you. Feel the warmth of your love cover me. Kiss my fears away. Grab me and pull me away from my doubts. Love my past heartache away. With you, there are no rainy days. Just water growing the love inside my heart. I can't see life without you. You've made all my gray skies blue. Loving me the way you do. You made space for me. Tending to my needs, encouraging my dreams. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. I waited for you. Prayed for you. So many nights I dreamt of you. Your heart in my hands, I guarded with my life. Diligently watchful and protective of it. Entrusted with the responsibility of giving you the best of me. And I don't take the position lightly. My life partner, my heart is yours. Through sunshine and storms, I'm yours. In joy and sadness, I'm yours. The anchor that is my heart firmly planted in your shores. Unwavering and steadfast in my loyalty and devotion. I'm yours completely. Don't misuse it. Don't neglect it. Nourish us with waters of trust and fidelity. Honest communication and loyalty. And watch us grow, thrive, and survive together. Forever. This is my love manifesto. 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 Love.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Yours truly, Terry Hunter. We got my man DJ Immaculate, and we have the lovely, the one and only Miss Black Widow. Chat with T's Box. We're doing something different. We're playing role reversing. We are reversing the roles. So instead of Danielle, aka Black Widow, interviewing people, we are doing the interview. So, y'all that don't know, Danielle has a brand new single that is out right now that is on fire called Love Manifesto, and we finna get into some conversations, right? About that record. And we gonna go there. I think we should really go there because you've made some records, Danielle, over your time that we, I think, should discuss. So let's get into it.
Okay.
What inspired you to do poetry?
That is, I'll very quickly, I used to live in Wicker Park in my 20s, and I used to go to poetry sets all in the 90s and 2000s religiously, weekly. And I always wanted to get on stage. But at the time I was married and my ex-husband was like, you don't need to do that. And he kind of discouraged me from doing it. So I just didn't. And when we split and I got divorced, a friend of mine was having a poetry show that I attended. And I said, you know what? I wanted to do this. I should do it. And she said, come and audition. And I did, but it was more just to kind of get over the fears of doing it publicly. So, and
were you writing though before that?
Oh yeah, I've been writing since I was a teenager. I have boxes of journals. I've been an avid writer since I was little.
So the writing thing was there before you actually started diving into poetry. It wasn't new to the writing aspect of it in the poetry side.
Oh no, yeah, I've always been a writer.
Oh, that's dope. Okay, no wonder. Yeah, thank you for that.
I noticed that goes hand in hand. Like people that write just write. You know what I mean? Great example of that is Ice Cube. Not to get off subject, but like he just writes. Movies, raps, TV shows, whatever. He just writes.
Absolutely.
That was the best way because what people don't realize, I'm actually very introverted and shy. So I wasn't very bold in real life. So I would write. So that was my form of expression. And my dad would always say, like, writing is show business for introverts. And it was, because that's what I would do.
I love that quote.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's my question. So you got into the poetry, the live poetry event scene and all of that, spoken word. How did you get into house music? How and when did you get into house music? What were some of your early experiences of house music?
I was introduced to house music by Pink House.
Oh, wow.
From WKKC.
R.I.P.
So when I was in 3rd or 4th grade, he was my camp counselor at Chicago State University summer camp. I went to a summer sports camp.
Give us a year. Give us a year. Give us a year.
That would have been 84.
Oh wow.
84.
Okay. So you're a shorty.
Yeah, I am.
If you don't know, Pink House was a legendary radio DJ on a college station in Chicago, WKKC, and he had a show called The Rap Down, so he put on a lot of hip-hop artists, but he also had a house show. I cannot remember what his house show was called, and I should be hitting my jaw for not, but he was very influential with breaking Chicago hip-hop and house music on the radio. So just give you background on Pink House.
Yeah, in between going to our little different sports kind of workshops, he would play house music and we would just be dancing. We were 11, 12 years old. And I remember asking him, like, what's that? And he was like, that's house music. And he told me he had a radio show and I had a little boombox at home and I would listen to it and dance in my room. So I always say my first club was my room because I wasn't able to go anywhere because I was too young, but that I was introduced to house music from him and then just listened to it all the time on the radio.
That's what's up.
Got it. So fast forwarding to the era when you began to actually make house music as a vocalist, how did you meet this guy, Terry Hunter? How did that occur? Because the funny thing is, and he can't remember either. I've known Terry for about 20 years or so. I don't remember I can't pinpoint when I met Terry, and he can't either. But
No.
Can you?
I don't think I could pinpoint it because I kind of stepped away from the scene when I got married and had kids. And then when I got divorced, I started coming back. And one of the first places I started going to was the Shrine, like over and over and over again. And I still didn't know who DJs, their names. I was just coming because the music was great. Right. And then a friend of mine was like, oh, this is DJ Terry Hunter. And he would kind of know me as the girl with the corsets. Because remember, I used to wear the corsets.
I wonder why that would be noticeable. I can't think of why that would be noticeable.
But I would wear the corsets, but we didn't, like, I knew him, but didn't know him. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things where I would come out and dance to the music. It was kind of my reintroduction back into the scene. I kept listening to house music, but I stopped going out for a while.
Right. That's dope.
Because I remember I was having a conversation offline with E, and we was talking about it, kind of going over some of the stuff. And that's why I said, I just remember, I don't remember Danielle really from back past Shrine, but not to say that you wasn't there or involved, but I'm like, I just really took notice of Danielle when she was coming out when I used to do in Reggie Sundays at the Shrine in Chicago. And that was the influential night that we had going for a few years. And that's
I was a regular. I never missed a Sunday. But I missed a lot of that whole big party era, either because I was too young, I was in college, and then I was married with kids. So I missed a lot of those places, and everybody kind of teases me since I was a North Sider for so long. I didn't even know where to go on the South Side. Yeah. So friends would tell me about Reynolds and I think the House Spot, and I was like, 75th Street, there ain't no clubs over there, you know? And they would look at me like I was crazy, like I had no clue.
So let me ask you this. How did Rough come about? Like, what was your process with DJ Alicia and Mike? And I want you to explain and tell everybody, what was your experience working with Mike Dunn, which is such a legendary producer from the beginning till now, still active as ever, chosen for you, brother, House and HD brother. Like, explain to the people how that song came about.
That actually goes back to my poetry show. My very first poetry show, the show that I went to was an erotic poetry show. And I was in a space mentally where I wanted to step, you know, newly divorced. I want to find myself again. And I wanted to do poetry to just kind of get over that fear. So I said, why not do an erotic one? Right. Just go all out, you know? And when I did the show with Erica Jarvis, who has the poetry show Unleash Your Inhibitions, I wrote something, believe it or not, at my job. And I was a banker, and I wrote something on my lunch break. And I wanted to
going on at your job to inspire that.
It wasn't the job. I had been reading the book 50 Shades of Grey. I had been reading that trilogy, and I loved the book. And I just started thinking about, if I was that character in the book, what would I like? And what would I, you know, it was a combination of reading that book and looking at Eyes Wide Shut. I was just fascinated by that whole idea. And one of the things that the common theme was that even though it's kind of kinky, it requires a certain amount of trust that most people don't have in their relationships. Because to do any of that stuff, you got to trust somebody. And that's a different level of intimacy. So that's kind of where that came from. So I did the poem as kind of a dare to myself. And then Alicia, a couple of months later, was playing at the Shrine for her birthday. Absolutely. And we were sitting at her house having margaritas. And she was playing this track. And she was like, remember that poem you did? This will be hot. Like, you should do it. And literally I had a red cup and went to her studio and re-recorded it. And she was like, I'm gonna play it tonight. And she played it, and it was insane, the reaction. And so, that's how I got introduced to Mike.
Okay, so then who gave the acapella to Mike?
Alicia did without me knowing initially, because she knew I was just coming to the clubs dancing. So I had no idea where it would go. And then Mike loved it. And everything kind of moved so fast after that. And then when it actually popped and it started charting and it was hitting #1 and people were sending me videos of people in Japan dancing to it, I was still shocked.
I'll tell you what's not a shock. What's not a shock is the guy that made Freaky Motherfucker like that acapella.
Right.
That's not a shock.
Bit right there, natural.
He was so shocked. He was shocked, like, Danny, the girl with the curly hair. Like, he was like, she did that? Like, he couldn't believe, because most people didn't think I looked like I would say something like that. So
that was
kind of shocking.
I remember Mike, when he was doing the track, he was like, yo. So at that time, we was trying to figure out a way to make a record. Like, Mike was in the process of trying to figure out, how can we get a joint with Alicia? You know what I mean? And he was bringing that to the table. And I'm like, yo, what you got in mind? Let's do it. Like, you know, got the label, let's figure it out. And I remember him calling me like, yo, Alicia sent me this, man, check this out. Tell me what you think. If this would be a fit for T's box. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm like, who is that? And that's what he told me. And I'm like, word? Bro, I'm like, yo, let's get this done. And got it done and we put it out. So this brings me to my next question, right? Are you just as freaky in real life as on the record rough?
Oh, Lord. Yeah. I think, with the right person. With the right person, I'm open. I become more open to explore. I think that's the beauty of having a
But you said nasty shit in that record.
I know.
She owned it.
She owned it, didn't you? Oh,
I like what I like, and it's fun. It's fun.
Yes, it is.
You know, I think couples should, if you're at that level, I think it should be no limits to what the two of you in the privacy of your own room want to explore. And it should stay fun and it should stay interesting. So whatever it is that you like, try it. You might, you know.
That's what I'm talking about. Because I'm telling you, I had so many people from London to Italy saying it in different languages. Like, we told DJ Alicia, are there?
It was
not a couple, but she's really.
I gotta tell you, we would go. Alicia and I would go to Reynolds, and the song Mike would play the song, and people would run up to Alicia and tell her all kinds of stuff they were doing with their partners, and Alicia would be like, that's her right there, and she would point, and they would look like, you said all that, and then they start telling me everything they was doing, and I was like, okay, that's a lot, but glad you enjoying yourself. But I think it, especially women, it gave women like
put a cape on.
Say what you like don't be afraid to say what it is you like too, because y'all definitely say what y'all like.
Hello.
So I think that I liked the fact that women kind of felt bold, even if it was on the dance floor, to say, you know what, this is what I like, so try this.
Absolutely. I love it.
There you go. Well, my next question, you kind of already gave us the answer. I wanted to ask you, like, what inspired you to want to put your poetry over a house track? But I guess you really already broke that down. That was the influence of DJ Alicia.
It was
Wonder Woman.
It was a combination of that, and then that particular time, I was really into not being afraid to do things that I've never done before.
Yeah.
So when she was like, let's do it, I didn't expect for it to become a song or all of this stuff. And that just kept pushing me to come to where I started to embrace the fact that I'm a writer. I've been a writer. So why not share your work? So it helped me find my voice again. And that was very important coming out of a divorce. So for me, everything that's happened since then has been this kind of stepping out and stepping out of my comfort zone and stepping out of, you know, any kind of preconceived notions that I had about myself. So I think it all kind of is relative to my personal journey.
being free.
Absolutely.
That's dope. So let me ask you this. What does the name Black Widow mean, and where did it come from?
I've wondered that too. I've never asked you that question behind closed.
You know what? Everybody knows I love Black Widow's character, but I love the actual meaning of the actual spider. I just think I think it's funny. The fact that it's like a badass spider. And when she has sex with someone, she kills them.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Bam.
I didn't know that. Oh wow.
So every time a Black Widow spider mates, her mate is dead. Like she eats them. So
is your ex-husband still alive?
barely. Look.
I swear, I know you came up with that after a divorce. You said,
you can tell, can't you?
I'm gonna be lethal in these streets.
Right. So let me tell you though what's funny. I remember going back some years. Side note, we were at Winter Music Conference in Miami, and Ruff was out. It had already been #1, and it was something about Danielle I saw early on, like we connected, but I wanted to see where she was at as an artist. You know what I mean? Yeah. Danielle would tell you, like, it's funny that I've never produced a record on Danielle, but in the beginning, I was kind of like, I think, pushing her as an artist from the performance side, and definitely bringing that out, which is so important when she records. So it was a lot of things I was got to get out your comfort zone. And I remember we was in Miami, and I was like, look, you finna perform at this party, there's gonna be some people there. And yo, Danielle went and bought this Black Widow, wanna kill a MF she made with him type outfit.
Yeah.
And it was a small venue, and those were the best ones. And in that small venue, you had people, I think Kenny was there, Terry was there, everybody was in the building. And I just believe in throwing people in the fire sometimes to see where you at.
Right.
And she froze.
Oh,
Jesus.
When I say froze.
Hey, you got to understand, me looking at Danielle, AKA Black Widow, I used to sometimes focus in on her when I was playing because she was on the dance floor getting her life. Right. So as DJs, any DJ that's watching this know, we will lock in on one person or a crowd because they giving you that energy back. And so I was like, yo, I'm talking all kind of stuff because people was, hyped about Ruff. I'm telling Kenny, I'm telling everybody, like, yo, smash it. She finna smash it. Like, everybody was waiting. And yo, boom, we went into it. And it was like, hey, what is he? I don't know what to do with my hand.
I don't know what to do with my hand.
Oh, it was awful. Ooh, I remember that.
So did you end up spitting the poem, or you just didn't do it?
Oh, she did.
No, I did it, but I was stiff as a board.
Yeah.
Like,
so the thing is that's good. Obviously, you're resilient because that'll either make you tuck your tail between your legs and run, or be like, let me go back and re-up on my shit and come back fighting. And obviously you have. So I respect you for that because that.
You know what? I told Terry, like, I hate that memory, but you don't forget a failure.
You need
like
it. Everybody. Look, see, here's the thing. Let's be honest now. That was your first opportunity to perform. So even though it was later in life, that all of us DJs, when we first started out, whatever age we were, most of us started out when we were 15, 13, 17, whatever. Oh, we bombed and played terrible and fucked up massively before. But you had to feel that embarrassment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Any of us that make beats have made beats and played it for somebody, and somebody that was honest was like, that shit is trash, or this kick drum is terrible, or you got to go through.
It's very true.
And I make a mistake and getting shit on in order to.
That's what I always tell people I love about Terry, because he'll do stuff like that And because me naturally, I'm competitive, but I'm also very analytical. And Terry is on me like, get out your own head. Sometimes you can overthink things. So I've been a writer for so long, but I hadn't been a performer for so long.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
So it's a whole, and even performing at a poetry show, I can just get up there and stand strong in the outfit and spit those words out, and everybody's like, they love it. But with house music, I needed to be the way I am on the dance floor. I feel the music. I need to be expressing that. So that was the lesson from that. And I, to this day, never forgot it. Never forgot that lesson.
I think with that, we all saw something in you, especially Mike, because you guys went on and we put out, what, 2 more records? Was it 1 record or 2 records?
We did Groove Me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And big ups again to Mike Dunn is that he saw that, and we would have conversations, and we saw like the growth in you. And I remember you coming over a couple of times and you would just spit poetry, and I was just on you. Like I was just in the booth, like, man, no, push it. Give me more. Like you took well to it. I have seen singers fold that type of pressure. Like
good ones. Great ones.
Good ones fold. And I just remember pushing you because I seen it. And I'm just really proud to say in that time span is that to look at where we are with this record. Like, it is, amazing. So
I remember when we did Groove Me, I was at Mike's, and that was the first time we were kind of sitting, he had gotten rough. So this was the first time we were sitting and doing it together. And that's when I was like, he would play a beat or a track and add something, and I just start writing, and he'd be like, go record it. But that symmetry and that chemistry, and then he'd come out and talk to me and kind of just get to know who I was as a person. And that allowed me to kind of let those guards down and even become more relaxed. And that even happened with you, because I remember that first day, and you was just like, take 1, take 2, take 3, take 4, like over. But compared to even when we put out Phoenix and the other records, you were just like, oh, I see. Because I've learned to take constructive criticism too and apply it to make me better, because that's what you want your team to do. You want your team to tell you the truth to make you better. And I think that's why we've been able to sync up the way we have, because we always tell the truth and we want the best for one another, because it helps all of us.
As producers, we, part of what makes us want to continue to work with an artist is whether they will allow you to produce them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I always say my best thing, like, even though this is a little outdated, the comparison still stands. I would always say Adrian Peterson has a running back coach.
Yes, he does.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the greatest athletes still have a position coach, and they got to listen to them, because they can always get better, and they always got to listen. And you can have somebody that's extremely talented and they don't want to take direction, or they get really defensive or whatever it may be. Yeah. That causes a producer to be like, I'm cool on working with them. You know what I mean? Because it's got to be
a balance. Thing. It's a balance. For me in the beginning, I was just listening, just kind of soaking everything that everybody was telling me. And then as I've kind of grown, then I'm like, well, what about this? Like, I started trusting my ideas and my voice more too, but it becomes more of a collaboration. But every time I work with you, Terry, or Mike, I learn something different just about the process. And that's invaluable. Like, I can never go into any kind of recording and not come out learning something different, whether it's songwriting, song structure, how you guys put these sounds together, and learning to fine tune my ear and develop my voice and my rhythm. It all kind of works together. So I love it. I love the process.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, and just a quick story, and I have to give it up to artists like Teresa Griffin and Shantae Savage. And I remember when I first was introduced to Teresa, we didn't know each other from Adam. And the records that we did, our first record was Sunshine, and then the second record was Wonderful. She 2,000% trusted me. Mm-hmm. Teresa don't need no coaching on nothing when it comes to laying vocals.
Right.
But she trusts the process. She trusts me. So if I'm telling her or asking her to do something, she is not shooting down my idea. And I would have to say the same for Shantae Savage, is that when we work, she's listening and want to know what I think about it. She doesn't need any help in the studio. And it's the same with you right now. You take those punches and you like, all right, bet. And so I'm just going to say on record, I'm super proud of you because I've seen the growth and this record shows it, man.
Thank
Well,
you.
you know what?
Thank
I want to shift gears real quick, and we're going to get back to the record. But like us being your co-workers is something Terry and I discussed before this interview. Like us being your co-workers, but also your friend, and we've become a family.
Yeah.
Like we recognize and respect the fact that you wear a lot of different hats in life. Just as a woman, you know,
Yeah.
you are a part of the Tease Box team. People don't know what you contribute behind the scenes in terms of our organization and planning and stuff like that and execution. You do the PR for the Imagine No Music Festival. You write for The Defender. You are an artist and a blogger, the Black Bloggers Association and everything. Yeah. And you're a mother of 3 children that I've had the pleasure of meeting and observing that are very well-raised kids and going off to school, your daughter and everything like that. So how do you juggle it all? How do you manage?
That's an ongoing learning process. But it's all centered around what I love to do, which is right. So you make time for it, you know what I mean? And people have asked me how I do it, especially being a single mom. It's great for my kids to see that, to see their mother living out her purpose and to see me writing. And it has encouraged them just to write their thoughts, because I always talk about how powerful your words are. Like I live by that. So I can be burning the candle at both ends. I won't lie. It's very difficult. And there are a lot of early mornings and late nights, but it's what I love to write. It's like breathing to me. So, and I write every day, whether it's work related or just personal. It's a muscle that I choose to exercise every day, and that keeps me balanced. And thankfully my kids are in teenage years, so they don't want to be all up under me anyway all the time. But we make time. You know, there are days where I say, you know what, we're not doing anything and it's family time today. Or, you know, I take my personal time to hang out with my girlfriends and do things that allow me to write, because I can't write if I don't live life, because I write about what I live and what I love. And you have to, whenever I feel like I have writer's block, that's a sign to me that I'm not living enough. I'm stressing too much or having something else. And I'll make time to get out and do something, either with my family or by myself or with my friends. It's just, I think when you love what you do, you'll make time for it. And even when you're tired, you're still, I watched my daddy do it. You know, my dad is was an actor and had 3 kids to raise and worked full time, came home, auditioned, slept 2 hours, went back. He just did it all. And so I think I kind of get my work ethic from him.
That's dope. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So let me ask you a question. This guy on the other end of the camera, tell everybody how you met DJ Immaculate.
I met Immaculate.
What's so funny?
I met Immaculate through you.
Yeah.
And we decided I wanted to interview you when you guys linked up. And you and I we had an interview, remember? I interviewed for my website.
I forgot.
And that's how we met. That was how we met initially. And then just kind of linked up.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't through Phoenix?
Phoenix came after I did the interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right. You know what? I had that wrong too. But now that you say that, we did do that interview first after Do It, when Do It came.
Yep.
I think maybe Terry, you know, it was your idea.
For the Phoenix thing.
Yeah, I guess I'll explain this real quick for anybody that is interested in this part of it. Like, the second record that I put out on Tease Box was a record called Phoenix that I had already released. Well, I'll make this brief too, because I'll get on a tangent. What led to Terry and I finally starting to work together in 2017 was, for a variety of reasons, this interview is not about me, I decided to start putting records out under my own name for the first time in my life. And me and my partner, Julius the Mad Thinker, had put out Phoenix independently. And it got like some really good critical feedback, but it like was a, needle in a haystack on Traxsource. Nobody paid it any attention. But I had sent it to Terry because I just wanted his, he told me to do this 10 years ago and I just didn't. And I sent it to him because I just wanted to see if he liked it, get his approval. And that's what led to us starting to work together. I put out Do It. And then it was Terry's idea. He was like, Phoenix should have got more recognition than it did. Chill on that for now. Let's wait a few months and let's put it back out on T's Crates. And then he had the idea to hit you up and have you write a poem to it.
Yeah.
That was how that whole thing came together, which, and then what was it? It was something that you and I, it was something about a Phoenix thing. It was the
image. It was the artwork.
So I found the image on a website. I ain't gonna tell you guys what it was. I found a website that's got some really dope artwork, and I licensed that image from the artist to use for the cover art, and I just did the letters and stuff around it. And when me and Danielle met, it turned out you had found the same image before doing Google searches. So it was just like this parallel that we had with that.
That is the timing of that was so perfect because everything I wrote was literally something I had written in my journal. You know, just that whole talking about what I'm letting go of all kinds of stuff so I can go to the next level. And by this time I'd had a song and had 2 songs that had done well. Mm-hmm. And then I'm kind of navigating my way through the house scene now as an artist. And that came with bumps and bruises and, some things Terry and Mike told me were going to happen. And I was a little shaken up a little bit. And I had gotten to the point where I was like, I need to come into who I am as an artist, as a writer. I need to embrace the fact that I'm a creative and stop kind of downplaying it, for lack of a better word. And I was feeling like that in my creative life and in my personal life, still holding on to the baggage of divorce and all that other stuff. And I was feeling like I'm ready to shed all of this because I got a new place I'm trying to step into. So when you guys came with that, and then we had the same image, I was like, this is synergy at this point.
But the funny thing is,
timing.
Terry called me one time, and I don't even think he told me yet why he was asking me this. He just was like, hey, let me ask you a question. You know how Terry does that. Hey, let me ask you a question. He's like, when you called that record Phoenix, like, what did you mean? Like, what did that mean? Because it was just an abstract instrumental piece. Mm-hmm. But the parallel is the story of the Phoenix. I mean, for me, it was the same kind of thing. Like, I've been in this music thing for a long time, and I decided to enter into a new chapter and a kind of rebirth in my career when I decided to take a turn. You know what I'm saying? So it was a similar thing, like the story of the Phoenix that, fell in fire and rose from the ashes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just individual stories. I think everybody can relate to that at some point.
That's why I love it so much. I love hearing that song because it just always, that energy from that song, the music plus the lyrics, every time I hear it, I still feel that like right here in my chest. I love that song. And it was an opportunity. We hadn't worked together and the sound was different.
Yes.
When I was working, doing Rough was so boom, boom, boom. And it was very, sexual or whatever. And then Groove Me was a real Afro kind of track. This was a different sound and it was a different wave. It was a different me that everybody got to see. So they, to be introduced with Rough is a hell of a thing. So it allowed me to show a different side.
You can't do 2 of those. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that again.
Right.
That's a one of a kind. You know what I mean?
But it allowed me to reintroduce myself as not just an erotic poet, just a writer, somebody who writes different lyrics. So I was very appreciative to do that.
Right. Like you don't wear that corset around 24 hours a day.
That's what I tried to explain to people. I don't.
Everybody that's watching that has not heard it, please go back. It's out. You can stream it, download it, Traxsource, Apple Music, wherever. Phoenix, Immaculate, Black Widow. So you guys know this is not their first entanglement.
That's hilarious. And it's spelled Feni. Not like the city.
Right.
So what is it that you really want to accomplish with your music? Like, you and I have talked off the record about this, but like, what is your goal with your music? What is your purpose?
My purpose is always to be authentic. It's always to connect. I especially love speaking to women and empowering them with messages. Which is why I love what I've done so far. It can be sexual, it can be fun, it can be serious, and it can be woke, because a lot of times you're put in a box. So a lot of people say, you can't write rough, you got 3 kids. Yes, I can. Like, I can be a sexual being, and I can still be an incredible mother. I can still be a very knowledgeable person of the world. So I want people to feel like you don't have to be confined by any labels and boxes that you can be a whole person. Right. And that was something I know Megan and I Megan McNeil, we totally connected on that, just as women. But as far as making music and house music in particular, to be an artist now, when I've been a dancer and a lover of the music so long, to be able to now see what my words do to other people is incredible. It's just an unexplainable feeling. And I've always wanted to write something that was impactful in any kind of way. It doesn't have to be very serious, but if it gives you a moment of release, or it gives you something that you connect to, where you say, man, I'm so happy you said that. A lot of people have come to me about the lyrics about Love Manifesto, and even saying, man, you sound so hopeful about love. Man, I used to feel like that. I want to feel like that again. That's what I want my words to do. I want my words to connect with people in a way where they can relate to it. I'm not one of, sometimes poets get known for using these gigantic words and try to be, I'm not that kind of writer. I like to write in very plain language that people can relate to. I might spit it differently, but I want everybody to be able to connect to it and groove to it. And even for the fellas, like, I want, if I make something like rough, I want you to go back home and talk to your girl about it. Like, I want everybody to connect and have conversations. I just think words are so incredibly powerful. And I'd like to use mine to make an impact, whether it's in music and in writing for the paper and covering, actual events, or in covering and documenting our music scene. I just think telling our stories is so important. And we do that in all of these different forms, whether it's in print, in music. These are our stories. So we need as many authors as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible. So we almost done, but before we get out of here, you have to tell everybody, right? Talk to us about Love Manifesto and how you and E came up with that. And it's, to me, one of the dopest, because as a DJ, it's a lot of poets out there. Shout out to my man Jay Ivy from The Shot. But this particular record, I remember playing it on my show. I played it twice. And the reaction that record got, to the point that we was able to hook up some outside business things because of the people hearing that record for the first time. How did you and E come about putting this record together?
You hit me with the track. You said you had a track and wanted me to listen to it. And he sent it to me and he was just like, I think I'm going to call it Love Manifesto. What you think? And I wrote, something that my reaction to the song. And I think at one point we were kind of thinking 2 different things as far as like, concepts. And I told him, I said, I just kept thinking about love, like romantic love. And maybe, I'm kind of sappy in real life. So I might have been in one of those kind of sappy places, but I felt very, lovey-dovey. And I just wanted to write about what I wanted. If I could just put it down on paper, what kind of love does Danielle want? And I just started from there. But the track, that's what I felt the moment I heard it. I loved it.
Well, what I was gonna say is that's where the trust is a two-way street, and that's where, and I would give this advice to other producers to, like, you also have to listen to the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, the artist has to listen to the producer and let the producer produce them. But you also need to listen to the artist as a producer. And even if you have a vision for something, you have to allow them to do what is genuine to them. And because if they really own it and they really love it and they're really passionate about it, you're going to get a better result. You're going to produce a better result. So, like, when I said love manifesto, I was talking about more so what's going on in the world, all of the hate and division and everything that's going on in the world. And like you always hear, like, it was a mass shooter and he left behind a manifesto.
Right.
You know what I mean? So my thing was like, we need a love manifesto to, like, change, the energy of what's going on some worldly type shit. But being that you felt how you felt about it, I remember we had this conversation and I was like, hey, look, if that's what it made you feel, go with it, because I want it to be authentic to you. I don't believe in telling a songwriter, whether poetry or singing or rapping or whatever, I don't believe in dictating to a songwriter what they gotta write to this beat. I can make a suggestion, but at the end of the day, you're the one that has to perform this for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? You have to love it.
It's so true. It's like when
it's the other way where you get somebody to do something reluctantly and it don't come out like shit.
But what do DJs always say, like the DJ and the jukebox? Like, I feel the same way as a writer. There are times where people can say, I'm kind of feeling like this. Can you write something? And that's cool. But if you want something very authentic, you want it to come from a very real place. And I appreciated the fact that you even listened to the fact that this is what I felt and said, you know what, let's go with it. Because I can write about what's going on in the world, but it's not going to come out the same if it's not coming from here.
And all I want to do is produce a great song. So whatever's in your heart, I'm got to extract that, and that's what's going to create something great. You know what I mean?
But that's what I talk about when we talk about, like, this, the Teasbox family. Like, that's what I think everyone has always asked, like, why this is my nucleus. And that's why, because our synergy is so rooted in respect, for what everybody brings to the table. So we can listen, we can trade ideas, we can collaborate, and we just put all of that together without overstepping bounds or, doing things out of ego or anything like that. And it just works beautifully. And that makes the creative process actually fun. So for me, if it's not fun, I don't want to do it.
Man, amen to that. One thing about this team, we have fun. We laugh.
We do.
We laugh and we have fun. I always say, ain't none of us making enough money for this shit to not be fun. I'm sorry.
Right.
Man, say it again.
Right.
But I want
to what we doing, because they looking from the outside in like, oh, da, 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 da. Like, we put in work. So I don't want to discourage people to think it is easy, because we put in work. Like, we work. And that's the one thing that I love about what he was saying, and just this unit from Immaculate to Teresa again. I'm gonna bring Shantae in this, and of course to Mike Dunn, and Wayne is doing some things now, and shout out to Gary Wallace worked behind the scenes, and Kelly G. Like, Kelly G had an amazing year, and I'm going off a little track, but this is still all within what we do as the Teasbox family. So
John Pierce,
like, it's so much stuff that we're doing. It's work, man. People don't understand the work behind it. So I think that a lot of
they just see the end result. They have no idea of the months.
Well, you know what?
Stuff.
So let me add this, because this is relevant to what you just said, T, and what you just said also, Danielle. Like, this record, what people don't know and wouldn't know is that beat that I sent you and what you wrote this song to is a whole different beat.
Right.
A completely different beat.
Yep.
And it's still going to see the light of day. But I remember I was finishing it And I know Danielle was probably calling me all kinds of names, calling up Alicia, cussing me out, like, what's taking us doing so long? Is that we recorded
I've
this
gotten
last
better
year.
at that. I've gotten better.
But I was taking my sweet time finishing this record. Sometimes I ain't gonna lie, if we ain't got no deadline, like it's gotta be great, or else like, or at least try to be great. I ain't gonna call my own shit great. But
You can.
well, so I wasn't happy. Like, I love the original version, but I was like, it's gonna get lost on its own. You know what I mean? And I was like, it needs another version. And then I had this idea, like, why don't we do 3 different versions and call it Movement 1, Movement 2, Movement 3, like how they do in classical music.
Yeah.
So I put it over 2 different additional beats and sent them to Danielle, and she loved one of them. The other one, we both agreed, like, could live without that one. So like, all right, cool, we got a solid 2. And I was like, you know what? We need a different. I remember I told you this. I ain't gonna say the way I said it, but I was like, we need one that's more aggressive.
Aggressive.
Like, this one, the first one was really deep. The second one was real, like, kind of whimsical and romantic. And I was like, we need another one that's a contrast, that's more aggressive, and like maybe something that's more like an Afro drum beat. You know what I mean? But I was like, it doesn't exist yet. So finally, I did it. And I sent it to both of you guys, and then we all agreed, like, this is the one.
That's the one.
They had that
perfect,
the perfect balance. If I'm thinking about relationships and love, sometimes it's real smooth and beautiful, and it sounds good, and then other times it's like, it's great. And
right.
They had that perfect, those ebbs and flows.
This one is rough.
Yes.
Pun intended. Pun intended. It's
more aggressive.
It's got a melodic emotion to it, but the beat is driving. So I think
it's just a very sexy, sensual, not overt, but very, intimate kind of song. And I think it's been kind of cool with the pandemic, with everybody doing these live shows, because people have tuned in and heard the song in a different way. When you're at home listening to the song, you're really tuned into those lyrics. So it's been really cool for me to watch Terry's show or Alan's show when they play it and watch the actual live reaction to people listening, like, oh, the track is fire. Oh my God, these lyrics. And people are already pulling out certain phrases and from the song that they're connecting to. And I think that's kind of cool, for a release, especially now in these times. So it's been really dope for me as a creative to kind of watch people's reaction. Normally I would wait until they were on the dance floor to see if they were really digging it, but we've been able to see it initially in a different way. I like it.
Yeah. Shout to everybody that's watching this right now, because what you just said, Danielle, is your reaction that you're typing in that chat, I believe, is honest. And so we encourage you guys to please keep giving us feedback, because it is very hard. We have not, none of us across the world have not been out since March. And I know for you, Danielle, being an artist, a spoken word artist, and, E, a DJ, producer, engineer, myself, like, it's nothing like that human interaction, and we don't have that. So it's just so important for you guys that's watching that even right now, sending comments in and let us know, because it's hard to get behind these turntables and spin for a chat room. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I love it. I love it to death. But listen, Danielle, AKA Black Widow, I swear I want to thank you. I thank you for letting me and brother DJ Immaculate play the role reversal scenes here by interviewing you.
I think I like it. Y'all was good. Y'all good at the interview.
Hey, listen, no, that's you. That's all you. That's all.
We came prepared.
I see y'all had questions and everything. You hit me with one I wasn't prepared for, but
that was Terry's question. He wrote that.
Everybody, please go get the record. It's out. DJ Immaculate, Black Widow, Love Manifesto. It's fire. I said it on my stream. I'm saying it now. I'm predicting
Yes.
one record. I am predicting a #1 record, and that's what we're gonna get. That's what we're putting out there, and that only happens with the support of you guys. So,
Yeah.
Listen, till
We
next.
got a surprise coming soon too.
Oh yes, we do. Yeah. Should we lick it a little bit? No, we got a surprise.
Yeah, just a little. Well, you kind of did.
Did I?
He did.
Oh, he did. Well, fuck.
Yeah, he let the little cat out the bag just a little bit. They don't know.
It's a video coming. How about that?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I did let the cat out the bag.
Ain't no secret. Video for Love Manifesto is coming. It was beautifully shot. You guys will see all of that. We're not gonna give you that information, but I can't wait to see it come together.
And remix package.
Yes.
I didn't even tell Danielle, who I told you, T, who I definitely can get to do a mix on this, in addition to somebody else that.
Let's leave that as a secret.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell her. I'm just gonna send it to her one day.
Yeah.
Y'all
Well,
know I'm
remix-
a cry, baby. I'll cry. Look.
Remix package is on the way. So listen.
I gotta tell y'all, when I tell people how much I love working with you guys, like I just what I've been able to learn, how I've been able to grow, the creative freedom I've had, you guys really will hear what I got to write and just let me roll with it. And that I know that's not something everybody gets. So it has been a pleasure. And I thank you guys for believing in me and giving me that tough love and being my big brothers and my, I just love it. So that's a relationship that goes way beyond business. So I thank you guys.
You're very welcome. Well deserving of it too. So we're about to end another chat with T's Box. We have some more coming up that will be hosted by this lady right here. Doing this no more. This was the first.
Right.
Yeah, I liked it though. I think I might have y'all co-host.
Y'all stay tuned. We got more chats with T's Box coming up. We got a lot of records coming out. Shout out to everybody that's watching right now. We love y'all. Thank you for the support. Hi to all our haters, because I know y'all out there. We love you too. Go get the record. DJ Immaculate. Love Manifesto. Black Widow. Let's go.
Yes.
We'll see y'all soon.
This is my love manifesto. Love. 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 I want a love that heals every bruise, every scar, every heartache. Love me. Love me like your life depended on it. Love me like my heart holds the antidote to every ailment in your soul. Love. Love is an action, a verb, a responsibility. The act of placing another's heart inside your hands and guarding it fiercely. Freeing, healing, liberating. It's protection from life's cold. Warms the soul, refreshes the spirit, rejuvenates the mind. Love me. Love me authentically. I want to be loved like every day is our last, every moment our anniversary, every kiss just like the first. A love that doesn't hurt. I want to rise in love, freeing my soul, allowing my vulnerability to show without fear of rejection and judgment. Love me. Give your heart to me. This is my love manifesto. This is my love manifesto. This is my love manifesto. I want true love. More than sex, I want intimate connection. A permanent soul tie, mine to yours. Exchanging energy, never depleting. My heart full, soul and spirit satisfied. I want to wrap my arms around inside my heart. I can't see life without you. You've made all my gray skies blue, loving me the way you do. You made space for me, tending to my needs, encouraging my dreams. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. I waited for you, prayed for you. So many nights I dreamt of you. Your heart in my hands, I guarded with my life. Diligently watchful and protective of it, entrusted with the responsibility of giving you the best of me. And I don't take the position lightly. My life partner, my heart is yours. Through sunshine and storms, I'm yours. In joy and sadness, I'm yours. The anchor that is my heart firmly planted in your shores. Unwavering and steadfast in my loyalty and devotion, I'm yours completely. Don't misuse it. Don't neglect it. Nourish us with waters of trust and fidelity, honest communication and loyalty, and watch us grow, thrive, and survive together forever.